Hey Sean, it's Ruby here. I haven't heard from you in a while. I was just wondering what you've been up to lately. I was also curious to know when you're going to meet me next. It's been such a long time. Dad also wants to see you as well. You haven't seen him for a while either, Sean. He really wants to talk to you.
Are you kidding me, Ruby? Why should I have to go over and see you? I shouldn't have to make such an effort all the time. I shouldn't have to come over and take care of anything. All the nursing stuff is your job.
Did anyone say anything about you taking care of things or anything like that? I never said that, all right? All I'm asking is for you to come and visit us, especially our dad. He hasn't been feeling very well lately. Could you at least call him, Sean? He would love to hear from you. It might make him feel better. He's been so ill and feeling down in the dumps.
Well, tell me when you're not going to be there, and I'll go over and see him. I don't get why he wants to see me so badly. It's not like he's that ill or anything.
Watch your attitude, Sean. Would you please just cut this crap out? I don't need this from you. How could you talk about our father like this? We're his only kids, and you're acting like you don't care about him? You're so insensitive.
Oh, boo-hoo, Ruby. Of course you always go out of your way to say something bad about me. You always have. 10 years have been and gone, haven't they? He's been bedridden for 10 years, hasn't he? I've been waiting so long for him to leave this earth. I've been waiting so long for my inheritance, and I still don't think I'm gonna see it anytime soon. I really didn't think that he survived 10 more years. I'm really sick of waiting, you know.
Oh, Sean, how could you say something so horrible? He's our father, for goodness sake. You should be treating him with a little bit more respect. I think this has probably been the worst thing I've heard come out of your mouth. I can't believe you.
I don't really care what you think, Ruby. I'm just speaking the truth. What's so wrong with that? What's so bad about being open and honest with my family? I'm just saying that this has been a long time coming, and I'm still waiting on my inheritance.
Even though you've been more or less forcing me to take care of our sick father for the past 10 years, that is so messed up, Sean. Our father is very ill, and this could be the last time he ever sees you, but you won't even do that for him? Can't you just show our dad a little bit more kindness? He's dying, Sean. He's the only father we've ever had.
How about you both start showing me a bit more kindness before you start critiquing my actions? If he dies soon, then I can be a landowner and be filthy rich. I'll inherit all of our father's land.
You make it sound like it's an easy thing to do. Why? Wow, you really don't care about anyone, do you? Besides, it's been a long time since our father made any money off of being a landowner.
You've really got no idea what I'm talking about, Ruby. The value of land doesn't decrease that easily. That's why our father can live as he pleases. He doesn't have to worry about anything anymore.
He does what he pleases? Are you for real, Sean? He's been bedridden for 10 years. He can hardly move. Do you really think he's doing whatever he wants with the little life he has left?
Even if you're bedridden, you can still earn money and have a really good lifestyle. I guess he might have enough money to dish out to me if he's lying in bed all day.
He's just using the money that he's saved up all these years. He's no longer in a situation where he can have all the luxuries that he once had.
That's why I'm hoping he doesn't hang around any longer. There'll be no money left if he doesn't. My inheritance will completely disappear if he keeps holding on.
Why are you so hung up on getting an inheritance when you won't even see him? You should probably go to Dad about the money if you want it so badly. He's probably got no idea what you're saying to me. Dad's telling you to come over. Please, just do this for him. He just wants to talk to you and see your face. He's not asking for much.
Ugh, you're making such a big deal of this. It's very annoying. I'll go over to his house if I can. Not making any promises, though.
Yeah, I can tell you're not. Well, I guess you coming over is never going to happen. You're so stubborn and insensitive. Sean, we really need you over here. Please respond to me when you get this message. Dad is really not doing so well right now. He's in critical condition. He might go at any minute. We really need you here. I've got something really important to tell you, so please get over here as fast as you can.
Oh, really? Oh my god, about time, don't you think? It's finally happening!
Huh? What do you mean? What's finally happening? I am so confused as to what you're talking about.
It's almost time, and I've been waiting so long for this to happen. I can't believe the time has come. Finally, I can get on with my life. Haha. Well, please let me know when the date and time of the funeral has been decided. I'm going to get in contact with my lawyer right away.
What the heck are you talking about? Did you not read any of my previous messages? You know that Dad's still alive, right? There's no plans of any funerals yet. Don't even think about doing anything with your lawyer.
I did read your messages. Didn't you just say that he's in a critical condition? Surely that means he's going to die soon, right? You've always wanted to be free from having to take care of him, right? Can't we just let him die quickly? Then it'll be all over, and we can move on with our lives. I also want my money. I want it in my hands as quickly as possible.
How dare you say such things to me about our father? I don't care about the money. I care about our dad. Just hurry up and get over here. You know you're talking so badly about our father. Our real father? How could you be like this?
Look, I've got no interest in having anything to do with him anymore. I don't care what happens to him. Okay, just let me know when he's dead. You can get in contact with me once the funeral plans have been made.
How dare you act like this? Fine. Be that way, Sean. You're a terrible and heartless person, and I don't understand how anyone could like you. I'll just take care of Dad by myself, and I'll stay with him right until the end. He deserves to have some kindness from at least one of his kids.
Hey, sis! Well, that was a fun funeral, now wasn't it? I'm sure our father appreciated the send-off.
How could you say such horrible things all the time? I am so sick of your attitude and what you say to me.
Oh, don't be such a hypocrite, Ruby. I bet you're actually happy now that he's gone, so you don't have to look after him, right? You took care of our father, the landowner, for 10 years, and now he's dead. Now you can finally be free of that role, right?
How could you say something about my father who's only just passed away? Haven't you said enough hurtful things? It's supposed to be a sad time, and I am choosing to be sad over the loss I've experienced, unlike a heartless person like you.
Oh, yes, I suppose you can feel however you want. So, I've talked to the lawyer about what's going to happen.
Good for you, Sean. I've actually talked to a lawyer as well. Dad was worried about what would happen to me after he died, so he told me to find a lawyer.
Wow, of course you did what Daddy said. I'm not surprised. You live such a miserable life, don't you, Ruby? Looks like I'm going to inherit all the assets and property that was in my father's name. It looks like you're not getting a single penny of it. Haha! You've taken care of him for so long, and what have you got to show for it? Probably not a lot, or anything at all, to be honest. Thanks for all your hard work in getting me the inheritance. I'm looking forward to having it.
Huh? I'm confused. What are you talking about, Sean? What do you mean I'm worth nothing?
Did you really have no idea what was going to happen, Ruby? Wow, you really are stupid. It's such a shame that you had to find it all out this way. You cared for our father so much over the last 10 years, but in reality, you meant nothing to our father. He gave you nothing. In the end, I was the cute kid who earned everything.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're wrong, and that's not what's going to happen, Sean.
All your life has all been for a dusty old rag. Caring for our father got you nothing. Doesn't that suck so much? Well, to be honest, I'm rolling around on the floor laughing about it. It's so hilarious. I can't help but laugh and cry at the same time.
I don't get how you'd find this so funny, Sean. What's the old rag supposed to be about? Me cleaning up after our father? Someone had to.
Even though you cared for our father so much, your efforts were all in vain! You ended up with nothing! Did you really think that if you provided him with love and care, that you'd get your hands on my inheritance? Obviously you misunderstood the entire process! You wasted a lot of your life because you wasted time on a man who wasn't going to give you a single dime! You could have gotten married and had a lot of children during that time. Your life must be such a disappointment. After 10 years of caring for him, you got no inheritance, so you might as well live in rags for the rest of your life. Of course, being the older brother, I'll inherit all the money. But if you hold a grudge about it, you should be mad at our father for choosing me.
You know what, Sean? Go ahead and take the money. It's all yours. Take it all and don't worry about me.
Ha ha! I've got no need to worry about you. I'm sorry, but things were supposed to be this way. Ha ha!
That's fine, Sean. I don't need any of the money from the inheritance. I don't really need it even if I asked you to give it to me.
What are you even talking about? What's gotten you so high and mighty about this? You seriously don't want any of the cash?
Hey, all I'm doing is staying quiet, brother. I'll hand over the entire inheritance over to you, and you can do whatever you want with it. I'm really glad you were able to get what you wanted, Sean.
Also, the beach house by the sea is mine as well. I couldn't forget about that. I've only been there a few times in the past, but it's worth having assets there.
But it's such an old building. What's the point in trying to make money off of it, Sean?
Like I told you before, the value of real estate isn't coming down anytime soon. You really are an idiot when it comes to money and property. But I should expect that of my little sister. You were never as bright as me.
Well, why don't you go to the beach house and check it out? You should see it with your eyes so you can make the right judgment call on it.
That's true. I haven't been there in quite a while. I'll take my girlfriend with me, and we can do a staycation or something. Well, I really can't believe our father has finally died. This is the best thing that has happened to me in such a long time. I'm going to get so much money and have so much land to play around with. It's going to be great.
You are so horrible, Sean. You're the worst brother on earth, and you're a terrible human being with no remorse. Don't contact me anymore. I've decided to disown you because I don't need someone with your attitude in my family. I don't want to talk to you anymore. What the heck? How did you call me? I thought I cut ties with you. Why are you contacting me?
Look, Ruby, that's not important right now. You need to answer your phone when I call. I need to talk to you. It's an emergency.
I've got nothing to say to you, Sean. I don't want you contacting me, but you obviously didn't get the message.
You know how I told you that my girlfriend and I were going to go to the beach house, right? The only thing that was there on the land it's supposed to be on was a rotting house. It's falling apart. Don't tell me that's the luxury beach house. It's more like a ruin than a house. It's as gross as an old rag. This can't be right, can it?
You really like using that word, rag, don't you? You called me one and now the beach house? You're funny, bro. The ruin you spoke of is the beach house, Sean.
No way. That's not it, is it? It's a piece of crap. There's hardly anything left anymore. It's like something from a horror movie. Did I just pay a huge chunk of tax just to inherit this ruin? Isn't it a ruin? It looks like it might be haunted by ghosts or something. I won't be able to live in this crap hole that I inherited. This is just the worst property I've ever seen.
I suppose it is. Apparently that beach house is known by the locals as the Haunted House.
Are you kidding me? They actually call it that? Is it actually a haunted house? Has someone actually seen ghosts inside it?
It's such a shame because it used to be a lovely piece of property in the past. Even in the state it was in back then, it was also called a haunted house. Even if you want to sell it, you couldn't sell it because no one would want to step foot inside.
I can't believe this place is still standing! What is this? Some kind of sick joke? Did you know about the state of this place? I heard it was a luxury beach house with all the bells and whistles. How does it look like this?
What are you even talking about, Sean? There's nothing wrong with it, really. It's just everything but a luxury beach house. It's still an all-right house. It just needs a little work, that's all.
Are you delusional or something? There's no way this place can be fixed. This house is not even livable, Ruby. It's literally falling apart. Don't you know that I paid a considerable amount of tax just so I could inherit this place? I can't live in it, and I can't sell it.
But you're the one who wanted the beach house. You told me that yourself. You know, I'm glad that things have turned out the way I wanted them to. I wouldn't have any idea what to do with that house in that state. My wish came true. Why don't you just take care of it?
If I had known that the beach house was in this disgusting state, I wouldn't have wanted it from the inheritance. I should have just taken the inheritance money, and I would have been laughing all the way to the bank.
By the way, what money are you talking about again? I'm just a little bit confused by what you're saying.
Huh? How can you not understand what I'm talking about, Ruby? Man, you're so dumb sometimes. I'm talking about the money from our father's inheritance. Since he owned a lot of land, our father's inheritance must be huge, no? I should have gotten that money. He should have gotten rid of such a useless piece of property when he was still alive.
I've got no idea what you're talking about, Sean, but there's no inheritance money.
Excuse me? What are you talking about? What do you mean there's no money? Of course there's money. He had so much of it.
Did you really not check his accounts or look into what he actually had, Sean? All that was left was the debt he was in. What money are you talking about, Sean? I guess you never really gave up your inheritance. Didn't your lawyer explain all of this to you? I'm surprised they didn't.
Explain what? What's there to explain? I don't understand what you're saying, Ruby. You're not making any sense.
Well, since it's about you, brother, I don't really know if I need to give an explanation since you know yourself so well. You inherited that beach house before even listening to the full story, I guess. You decided to take the property for yourself and just went right ahead with getting it, right? I guess you didn't even know what kind of inheritance you were truly left with, brother?
Okay, so what if I didn't listen to what my lawyer was saying? They were being a pain and talking about too much legal stuff. But what do you mean about Dad being in debt? I never heard anything about that. How did you know?
I just didn't want to tell you because I thought it would be too much drama for you to handle. You also didn't ask about the situation either, did you? I could have told you.
Stop with this nonsense and just explain to me what's going on here. You're really frustrating me right now. Why is the house like it is?
Actually, I was told all about his debt before he passed away. I knew everything.
You knew? You knew all along and never told me? How could you do this to your own brother?
How about you calm down so you can think rationally about this? Even though he owned land, he was bedridden for 10 years and did nothing about it. The real estate came to a standstill. He opened the beach house himself, so it was up to him to manage it. Once he was bedridden, it was no longer possible for him to take care of the place. Of course, it would have been cleaned a few times a year, but then time passed, he got more sick, and he never rented it to anyone, and he didn't sell it either. That's why it's turned into a ruin.
So I guess that's what happens when you leave a property to rot for 10 years. Why didn't you tell me about the beach house?
Ever since you found out that our father needed full-time care, you've been ignoring us. I also ignored it because I didn't want the place forced upon me, okay? That's why I didn't tell you about it, and also, you never came by to visit, so it was never talked about.
I could have done something about it if you'd at least told me what was going on with the property.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I can't believe that my brother would care about some property that much.
But you knew that it was going to be mine someday since Dad was the one who owned the beach house. Of course I would take that seriously and do something about it. You could have told me.
Well, is there really any more point in talking about this now, Sean? Nothing's going to change. Besides, it's going to be so difficult trying to maintain it. The property tax is probably pretty high. Everything up until now is turned around, and not for the better. He used various services, such as accountants. Some properties just fail, and then the person ends up in a lot of debt, like our father. After that, it's just a snowball effect, and the debt just kept growing bigger and bigger.
Are you kidding me? The debt's just going to keep on increasing, even though our dad isn't around anymore?
Of course, no one's trying to pay it off, so interest keeps getting put onto it. You know that this inheritance was not forced upon you. We tried to call you and talk to you before Dad passed away. I got in contact with you so many times, Sean, but you never returned my calls or even tried to visit.
What a cruel thing to say! You're just trying to get back at me for what I said about Dad!
And so I should, because you said so many terrible things. You basically estranged yourself from us. Dad didn't want things to be like this. So I started the procedure of abandoning the inheritance so I could avoid it. I called because I wanted to explain all of this to you. Our dad just wanted us to get along and be happy. He didn't want to leave us with the debt, but it was too big to handle. You were never good at listening to other people. I wanted to explain everything properly, but you never made the effort to come over.
Well, it's because I never thought that you wanted to say something so important. I thought you were just making small talk. Why didn't you say something to me? This is your responsibility now!
It's more your own fault, Sean. You're being so stupid right now. You got greedy and you just wanted to get your hands on some money.
How dare you talk to me like that? How is it not your responsibility? You didn't communicate with me properly!
Oh my god, this is getting too much. I can't deal with your crap anymore, Sean. Dad also gave a message to his lawyer. You were the one who decided to inherit everything without discussing it with Dad first, right? He told the lawyer how disappointed in you he was. I don't even know what else to say to you anymore. This has been your own doing, Sean. Live with it.
How could you do this to me? How is this even possible? I never imagined something like this happening when Dad died. I was supposed to inherit everything from our father and be happy and rich. And now this is what happens when I show up to a rundown place with my longtime girlfriend? It's not fair! Do you know how embarrassed I was to see that house standing there in ruins?
I have no idea, Sean, but I'm sure it must have been so hard for you to handle. What's happened to you has got nothing to do with me. I don't really give a crap what happens to you anymore, Sean. It's only natural for me to feel like this after the way our father and I have been treated, right?
But I'm your brother, Ruby! You can't just leave me to deal with this mess on my own! You also need to take responsibility for the dead and this beach house!
Like I've already said, I'm cutting ties with you. I don't want a horrible person like you being a part of my family anymore. I don't want to be involved with your life. Surely that young girlfriend of yours must have guessed what you're like by now, right? Now you're just a scumbag who's rolling in a lot of debt. You're not a part of this family anymore, Sean.
Okay, so you can say whatever you want, but I can't? What the heck, Ruby? How can you treat me like this? Stop making fun of me!
You treated me like crap before, so why can't I do it now? Isn't it true, though? You're in so much debt now. Dad and I tried to advise you, but you chose to ignore us. You even ignored your own lawyer. How stupid is that? I wasn't the one who didn't listen and ignored the people around me. As a result of your ignorance, you inherited all of our father's debts. And you even inherited that haunted beach house since you paid so much tax on it. It's so lame that I couldn't tell you anything.
Shut up, Ruby! You're just so happy because you didn't open your big fat mouth! You got away with not having to inherit his debts!
You would have taken it all without our permission before I could tell you the truth anyway, Sean.
Then why didn't you just say there was absolutely no money and that Dad was in the red?
Well, it's because I never needed any money in the first place. No matter what, you wouldn't have listened to me.
That can't be true! Everyone wants money since we needed to live a nice life! Especially now that you're a middle-aged single woman! There's no way that you don't want money when you're probably so unhappy with your life!
Stop making things up. You know nothing about my life. I'm actually married to Dad's lawyer, so no, I'm not single, Sean.
What? Really? Since when have you been married? I had no idea that this happened!
I wanted to get married while Dad was still alive, as it would give him a bit of peace of mind. We'd been dating for a while, but then we decided to get married. But at least Dad gave me a property that's worth something.
Huh? What are you talking about? What could he have possibly given you if he was in so much debt?
He gave me an actual property, not a ruin. He renovated it at his own expense and rented it out. I'm now living there, comfortable and paying rent.
Are you kidding me? You've been hiding this the entire time? Are you for real? That property should be mine!
Why don't you renovate that ruin you own yourself? Maybe you could make some money off of it if it looks good enough. But since you've got all that debt to pay off, maybe it might be impossible to do that. Well, I guess I should wish you luck on your ventures.
Renovate the beach house? But it's completely in ruins! You can't be serious!
I honestly don't care what you do anymore, Sean. You're on your own. I wonder which one of us will be living a life in rags from now on. In the end, Ruby abandoned her brother Sean and cut ties with him. It seems like she's living a peaceful life without him bothering her. Meanwhile, Sean's been forced to live in an abandoned beach house. He was deep in debt and his girlfriend dumped him. It seems like the land was taken by a debt collector until Sean could somehow get the money to pay off the debt. Unfortunately for him, the debt still remains as he struggles to make repayments. Greedy people like Sean will almost always end up in a worse position because they're too blind to see any faults. Let's hope he can learn a little bit from his mistakes and be more considerate towards other people. Maybe his personality might improve, but we all know that it's likely impossible.